What up? Hey, what up, yo? What up? Hey, what up, yo? What up? Hey, what up, yo? What up? Hey, what up, yo?
What up, Dope Pride Nation, and welcome back to Lukegsfieldreview. This time we are back at it with a video with me doing something a little different. Something really caught my eye, and the reason it caught my eye is because I like to try to give people the facts. And I know that some people come on to the show and they figure, oh, he's just a fanboy, he's a Matthew Stafford sympathizer, he's never going to speak ill of the Lions. Well, that's just not true. But what I wanted to do was show you how the media views our Detroit Lions. Now, many of you already know this information because it's nothing new. This is not something that we have never heard before. This is not something that we have never had the pleasure of witnessing. But I wanted to bring this to you because recently the Detroit Lions signed running back CJ Anderson. And so I wanted to see if any of the media outlets was going to cover it.
So the Rams, while they lost a major contributor from their Super Bowl run, NFL Network reports running back CJ Anderson will sign with the Lions. He played for 3 teams last year, but once he got to LA, he had 3 straight 100-yard games, and in the playoffs, he had more rushing yards than Todd Gurley. So, Reggie Bush, still with us. Reggie, how much will the Rams miss that guy? We're just watching.
Let's just stop there for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Notice that the first question isn't how is, that the first question should have really been how is this a great signing for the Detroit Lions? But notice how they start off with how much would they miss him. In fact, what I want you to do is look at how they have CJ Anderson in front of Ford Field with the Lions logo, says without a battering ram, and then it says at the bottom, it says CJ Anderson to sign with the Lions, 97.6 yards per game in the last 5 games with the Rams. And then the real question is, will the Rams regret letting go of Todd Gurley's backup? What? What? Okay, so when y'all sit there and y'all say that I'm a fanboy or I'm a Stafford sympathizer, I want to show you how the media is giving our news out. They put our logo up there, okay, and they put our signing up there, but the story is not about the Lions getting a good running back. It's about losing a backup for the Rams. But let's listen, though.
The highlights. How much will they miss him? Sorry, Skip.
Well, I love what CJ Anderson brought to this team last year because the one thing that you cannot put a value on is experience and leadership. I don't think you can have enough of that. And I thought that was the biggest difference for the Los Angeles Rams last year. They got lucky with CJ Anderson because he came at a time when they desperately needed somebody to fill in the gaps for Todd Gurley while he was hurt, while he was on the shelf. And so CJ Anderson brought that. He brought them motivation. I mean, he played with a chip on his shoulder. Every time he touched the football, you saw him stick his foot in the ground and get up the field. And it's amazing what you can do when you get a little bit of space. Right? And so I know he had been cut, by 2 different teams beforehand, but what he brought to the Rams last year, on top of the production that he gave them, again, you can't put a money value on leadership and experience. And Jared Goff has to have play action. He has to have the run game because that's what this offense is built off of.
So right there, notice that they said all these great accolades about CJ Anderson, the player. They talked about how he brought leadership and all these things to the Rams. Why wasn't that story spent into what he's bringing to the Lions? Why wasn't that story spent into saying, when he's on the Rams, he brought this leadership and he's going to bring that same leadership to the Lions? Why wasn't that story said that, his impact? But y'all want me to be negative. We got enough negativity. They're ignoring us in our face. Clear as day, okay? And then he goes on to talk about, well, Jared Goff, needs to run to set it. Every quarterback needs to run to set it up. Some quarterbacks need it more than others, but every quarterback needs to run to set it up. But I'm gonna let Reggie and the rest of these people keep talking because I want y'all to pay attention to how they do it. But notice that logo is going to stay there the entire time.
And so by them getting C.J. Anderson, it played right into what they do well, right?
Yep.
Run the football, play action off of that. And so can they find another big body running back to, you know, run the football hard up the middle? Yeah, you can do that because the nature of the running back position has been watered down over time. But the other side, what they will be losing is the leadership and experience, and I just don't know if you can replace that part of it.
Well, what it tells me is that the Rams are pretty comfortable with Todd Gurley's injury.
Yeah.
You know, you keep hearing that he might have some arthritis
That's what I keep hearing.
with the knee.
Are you comfortable with that?
No, I'm not comfortable with it, but they must be. But here's the thing, Skip. Last month, the Lions put an offer on Malcolm Brown, who was Todd Gurley's backup. The Rams matched. He got hurt, so this is why they went out, because they would not have gone out and gotten CJ had he stayed healthy.
Yep.
So what this tells me that they don't view CJ as a feature back. They feel like he can come in and spell him. But if you just match the offer, you're paying Todd Gurley all this money. You paid good money to keep Malcolm Brown.
Yep.
It really didn't make sense.
No.
The Lions probably gave him, what, $2.5 million, I would assume, to go there. That's a lot of money for a guy in.
Okay. Again, people, this is why I have issues with the media coverage of the Detroit Lions, and this is why I personally do my best to give you information that's fact-based. How is $2.5 million for a guy who, according to Reggie Bush, according to Shannon Sharp, and it's going to be soon according to Skip Bayless, bringing leadership, a hard running style, and all these qualities that the Rams are losing? How is that too much money? In fact, when I go and do the lookup, I find that that's not even considered 2% of the salary. How is that a lot of money? You know what I mean? But y'all want me to be negative. But I'm gonna let y'all keep listening to Mr. Shannon Sharp and these people talk about it, because the true thing is notice that our logo with our stadium is still up there, and they're not talking about how this benefits the Lions, but what's wrong with the Rams. Just keep on watching.
CJ doesn't play special teams. Normally you have a running back, Skip. He's your third running back. He plays special teams.
Yeah.
CJ is not a special teams player. So with that being said, I think the Rams feel they're in a good spot with what they have with Todd Gurley and with Malcolm Brown. And today, Skip, he's not a feature back. You're going to use a 2-back, sometimes maybe even 3.
Yeah.
The Patriots use 3-4 in a game.
Now, again, I do want to point out something that Shannon Sharp did say that I kind of agree with. He's right. The Patriots do use 3 or 4 running backs, and that's why the C.J. Anderson signing was so important, because that does mean that they're still going to go out and add another running back. But where I'm confused about it is he's talking about, oh, you're paying this kind of money to a guy who don't play special teams. So what? They gave $14 million, the Rams gave $14 million for 1 year to Fowler. I bet you won't see him on special teams. Okay? I bet you won't see that. But y'all want me to be negative. I just want y'all to see what's going on here, people. Let these people keep talking. And also, pay attention to the amount of time that's going by. We ain't gonna hear them say too much good about the Lions, because in fact, I didn't hear anything. Y'all let me know if I'm crazy.
Occasionally. So I think this is a good move for the Rams. Plus, they got some other issues, Skip. They spending a lot of money. And you don't want to spend like 2, 3, and we're saying 2, 3
good
million
move for the Rams.
That seems like a lot of money.
It does.
But for a running back in NFL, that is a lot of money, especially if you can go find one in free agency or get one in the draft for less than $2.5, $3 million.
Yeah.
C.J. Anderson saved the Rams season.
He did.
100%.
So hold on. Shannon Sharp agrees that C.J. Anderson saved the Rams season, but yet he think it's too much money to pay him when you can go get somebody for less amount of money. Okay. Well, can you get somebody who's going to bring that same intensity, that veteran leadership, and all the things that was just spoken of for that kind of money? But I'm going to let these people keep on insulting my intelligence.
We had him on the show.
Yeah.
When was it?
About 2 months ago. Right, like 2 weeks
Right
after
after
the Super
the
Bowl.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
To your point, he's a really good guy. He's a good talker. He's
good interview.
He's good. He's smart, and he's been around.
Right.
And he knows how to play the game on and off the field. And they're going to miss that.
Yeah.
Because he stepped in. I don't know what's wrong with Todd. knee. And I like Todd a lot too, but I'm afraid it could be an ongoing issue that he's going to fight the rest of his career. And as you guys know, running backs, as you know, it's just hard to last that long.
Every running back has arthritis in his knees. Every running back. Every football player got arthritis in his knees.
So they signed him off the couch after he got cut twice, and he steps right in at Arizona and goes for 167. And then San Francisco 137, and then the nightmare happened to my Dallas Cowboys, who had just stifled Seattle's #1 rushing attack at Jerry World in a playoff game. They just shut it down.
Yeah.
Seattle went nowhere slowly the whole game. And then that happened to my team. And I can tell you, my safeties can really tackle when they're falling on their backs, right? Because they got pancaked. Every one of those. He's pancaking Jeff Heath right
You
left.
ain't really trying to tackle a bowling ball with legs.
Who wants to try
It ain't
that?
easy.
Exactly.
It ain't easy.
Man, you're talking, when he gets running downhill, that's a force.
Oh, yeah.
They got low heels to the ground. And they talking about, well, I was like 240, 240, 250.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it looked to me like Sean McVay kind of fell in love with him because they went to New Orleans and he was trying to feature CJ.
Yeah.
And Gurley's over there riding the bike saying, I'm ready.
And that's why we knew something was wrong with Todd Gurley. Now, everybody said Todd Gurley was 100% healthy and it was this yada yada. Running backs are not sitting on a stationary back, especially come NFC Championship game, especially Super Bowls if you're 100% healthy.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm still back to this age-old dilemma of how valuable is a running back? Can you just go get somebody off the couch? Look, New England, I'm not saying that Sony Michel carried them, but he had big games in the playoffs.
Say what, Skip? Did you notice how much time went by? And the story has been about the Dallas Cowboys. It has been about everything but the Detroit Lions. They're not talking about how great this is for the Detroit Lions. They're talking about everything but. In fact, he goes on to even talk about the New England Patriots right now. So now we don't went from the Rams to the Cardinals to New England to, I mean, what the Cowboys. And listen, I want y'all to pay close attention because y'all, you know, who are with me don't understand how much I put into making sure that we get fair representation in the media, okay? And then for Skip to come out and say that Sony Michel didn't carry the New England Patriots, what a joke. But again, I'm gonna let y'all keep listening. Watch and pay attention, okay? Because that logo, that stadium, and his picture is going to stay there, and they're not talking about this being a signing for the Detroit Lions. But go ahead, let's keep watching.
I'm looking at his numbers: 129, 113, and 94 in the Super Bowl. That works.
Yes.
You know, that gave him. But Burkhead was the closer. They would put him in late because the kid was a rookie, Sony, and I think Belichick didn't want any fumbles down on the goal.
I think the thing is system.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sonny Michel's not working in the Dallas Cowboys offense. You know what I'm saying?
That's
You need
BS.
they need bell cows, right? So it all depends on the type of system that you're running. The Patriots are a 2-3 back system. They have one guy to run the ball. When you're backed up, they have another guy to run the ball in the middle of the field, another guy to run the ball at the goal line, somebody to catch the ball out of the backfield. They have 4 or 5 different guys to do different things. The Cowboys and most teams, you know, power these great backs, Zeke, Le'Veon Bell, they do all of it. And that's what you need in that system. But, yeah, you can find a skill. Look, I'm a prime example of this. I played with Terrell Davis for 4 years, and we've had backs to come along, and everybody talk about the system. And guys was getting 1,400 yards. But they wasn't getting 1,700 taking us to the Super Bowl.
No, they wasn't.
They wasn't winning MVPs. There's a difference between, you can get a guy that go, who was, Darren McFadden.
Yeah.
He ran for 1,000 yards behind that offensive line. Zeke comes in and gets 1,600.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see the difference? You see?
But the system y'all had in Denver
it
was fire.
Oh, yeah.
To say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Because y'all had like 6
now
or
we're
7
talking
running
about the
backs.
Denver Broncos.
Gary,
Clint Porter.
Pay attention,
they all
people.
came through rushing for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
I always wanted to play in that system. You talking about running backs coming to a good system? Man, they had
What you wanted?
That's what you wanted to be.
Would John Elway have won a Super Bowl without TD?
No.
Nope.
Here's the crazy part about this, people. I have said this many times, and anybody who's paid attention to me know that I believe that factual-based information is better than emotion. And one of the things that I have always said is you can't name to me the quarterback who's won without a running attack. You just can't tell me that. I'm waiting for somebody to bring me that information so we can look at it, because I'm very interested to see how often this is occurring. Because I'm telling you, I can't find the literature or any type of information that would suggest that you can win the Super Bowl without a rushing attack. Now, the fact that they all agree that John Elway wouldn't have had a Super Bowl without Terrell Davis lets me know that maybe the Lions fan base might be a little bit too harsh on their quarterback. But I understand now that there's nothing that I can say or show you that would make you look different upon Matthew Stafford. Okay? And the truth is this. If John Elway didn't have Terrell Davis, and I don't think this is a far stretch to say, many people would have said that they're not winning the Super Bowl. And that's just a fact. So they got that part of it right. But again, notice we're not talking about the Lions at this point.
No.
Would not have.
No. I mean, nobody gonna tell you. Mike will tell you that. Everybody tell you. John will tell you that.
Yeah.
We needed that. I mean, yeah, like I said, we had other guys come in. Landis Gary got 1,200, and Mike Anderson rushed for 1,400, and Porter's had back-to-back 1,500. But they weren't TD.
Yeah.
TD was a different animal. And come playoff time, the dude averaged 142 a game. Can you imagine the playoff when they know we gonna run the ball? Stop it.
Okay,
That's
but
tough
in
to beat.
today's NFL, I still say if you can't throw it, you can't win. And you say Dak can't throw it, and he throws it just well enough to win division.
Oh, now we're on
Because
the
they
Cowboys.
got Zeke
Okay.
behind him. Without Zeke behind him,
That guy got
Dak's
to do
not
this.
carrying that football.
There's a reason what Stephen Jones said. What did Stephen Jones say this offseason, Skip? What was their number one priority?
Dak.
No, that ain't what he said.
I was like, wait, did I miss that?
That's
no,
what
I
he
don't think
said.
that was it. That was
I think
your
he did.
priority.
No, he said,
I think he said it was DeMarcus Lawrence.
no.
Huh? I don't think he said it.
When that guy doing this right here, Skip.
Oh,
when
they
he gotta
just
do this
keying it
and do
up.
that right?
We
Oh,
still ain't
thank
talking
God
about what the
for
Lions did. This great
I
signing
ain't
that the
seen a whole
Lions
lot of that
got.
against the Rams.
You know what? There's some days when Dak Prescott's the best running back on the Dallas Cowboys.
That ain't
Am I
no-
right about
no,
that?
no.
Who makes the big runs? Who makes the goal line
He'll
runs?
splash some in there. He'll splash some important runs
Important
in there, and
clutch playmaking
but
runs.
consistently throughout the game. No.
You need Zeke.
Huh?
Need Zeke.
I just hope he lasts more than another couple of years because he tries to run through brick walls every
He does.
play. I've never seen anything
Well,
like
Skip,
it.
you get him, you run him, you give him the ball. What you trying to win games, right?
Yep.
Okay then.
4 wins the game. 21 goes along for the ride. I'm sorry. In the end, that is the truth.
That is not the
It
truth.
is the truth.
That is not the
It
truth.
is.
I feel like that was a record for longest time we haven't mentioned the Cowboys in a show, but we had to get them. We had to get a Dak.
You had to bash me with those low lights.
What?
C.J. Anderson
Sorry.
running over Jeff Heath.
Bringing back some nightmares.
Yeah.
Where was the wolf?
And Jeff Heath ain't want no part of it.
He should.
ain't want no part
He
of
should have
CJ.
never been able to get to Jeff Heath.
Hey.
Where's the wolf hunter?
You realize what George Iloka is going to do to C.J. Anderson next year?
Nothing.
Nothing.
He'll knock him on his butt.
No.
You gonna knock C.J. Anderson on his butt?
Yeah.
No, not even close.
Okay, what was Jalen Smith and the wolf hunter? Where were they?
I don't know. That's,
We don't know.
I don't know.
He should have never
I
been
don't
able to
know.
get back to Jeff Heath.
Okay.
You got the running back running against the safety. You
I don't know.
are doing your job.
It happened all
Y'all doing
night
well.
long.
That one's my fault for bringing it up. Thank you for being here, Reggie. Always good to have you.
Did y'all see that? How much time they spent talking about the Rams, using the Detroit Lions logo up? You want me to be a part of this process? Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's not fair. That's just absolutely not even close to being fair. And you know why it's not going to ever be fair? And people going to say, well, they haven't won. When they start winning, they'll get some respect. When they win, this is the kind of media you see. Slap the logo up there, talk about the Dallas Cowboys, talk about the Denver Broncos, talk about the Arizona Cardinals, talk about the Rams, talk about everything but this signing being a great signing for the Lions. Why was the story even considered, what the Rams lost? What? They got Todd Gurley. Why y'all talking about them losing C.J. Anderson when they got Todd Gurley? If anything, the main story should have been, this is a great signing for the Detroit Lions. See, this is the reason I'm on YouTube. Because somebody has to be a voice of reason. And that voice of reason has to come with a set of facts. You can't go 15, 20 minutes and not even once mention how this was a great signing for the Detroit Lions, but talk about how much the Rams is losing. And before somebody go, well, in an indirect way, they're kind of saying that the Lions got a good player. No, they're not, because Shannon Sharp, and he said that, oh, that was too much money for a running back at $2.5 million. Not even knowing that's the real contract or not. He just throwing a number out there. And what happened? You got Skip and Reggie Bush bobbing their head just as shaking it. Yeah, that's too much. You could have got somebody cheaper. They offer no insight into our Detroit Lions. The only thing that they said that I agree with is, one, that you right, even the best of the best quarterbacks can't win without a rushing attack. That's one. Two, at the end of the day, he is a good player. But the rest of it was straight trash. Straight trash. From the facts that, oh, Sonny Michel didn't carry this team. Well, you go and look at Sonny Michel's numbers throughout the playoffs and in that Super Bowl when he ran that 6 minutes off the clock. You go and look at those numbers and we can talk about it. Miss me with that, man. So that's it for today, people. I just wanted to show y'all this because I thought it was very interesting to see our logo pop up and not hear anything pertaining to our Detroit Lions team. So as always, I would like to end the show with the way I always do. Don't be no chump. Please do your research.